One of the most annoying side effects is actually much more complicated than you think. I'm Zeinab, I'm the pharmacist from PillSorted, and I'll be explaining about hair thinning, why hair loss is more complicated, and how is it related to other symptoms. When you see your hair is falling, take it as a warning sign that there are other things that are happening too, like losing muscle, like getting loose skin, like more risk to your gallbladder. So going back to the hair, I have explained in previous videos the biology of hair. So what are the different phases that the hair goes through? Also, how does the GLP affect your hair, and what are the best treatments out there? So just in a very short nutshell, when your body realizes something as a stress, it can be lots of different things. It might be pregnancy, it might be moving house or moving country, it might be starting your weight loss journey. These can be considered as a stress, and then a lot of your hair moves from the growth phase into the shedding phase. That means it starts coming off. But whatever that stress is, it happens 3 months before you realize the hair shedding happening. Okay, so when people start their weight loss journey, when we start on the GLP medications, usually 3 months in, you start realizing the hair thinning happening. But the good news is it is reversible. Okay, so it is a short-term and temporary thing. There are lots of different treatments, and the most important treatment is actually checking your nutrition. There is another important way that this can be reversed as well, that I'm going to focus more here as the stackers. But how common of a side effect is this for the GLPs, for the Mounjaro and Wegovy? So it is classed as a common side effect. Okay, it's been reported 4.9% for people on Mounjaro versus 1% on dummy injections, and on Wegovy 2.4 milligrams, so on the high doses, 2.5% versus 1% on dummy injections. Okay, so both of them are considered as common side effects. I want to bring two interesting things from either of these documents, for the Mounjaro and Wegovy. In Wegovy, it says the hair loss is related to people who have lost the most weight. So people who have lost over 20% of their body weight have seen and reported more hair loss. This is important. It's not about people who've been on the highest dose of the medication. It's about people who have lost the most weight. Okay, on the Mounjaro as well, it talks about another one about acute gallbladder effects. So it says it's got a positive correlation with weight reduction. So what that means is the more weight you've got coming off, the more gallbladder problems might show up. So what I want to get out of this is there's some of these side effects, especially hair loss, that are much more related to the rate of your weight loss than actually the medication. So rate of weight loss is really, really important, and I'm going to go through what are the most important things that get affected. But the good news is this is the controllable one in our hands. So if it was a genetic part, we wouldn't have much of a say in it. But controlling how much weight you're losing is very much in our own hand. What are the stackers that make this side effect much worse? In lifestyle-wise, one is fast weight loss. This is by far the most important thing. Whatever reason that causes you to lose weight too fast has got a direct effect on your hair thinning. The other one is the nutrition in your food. So there are some really important nutritions that body really needs to make sure that the hair is functioning properly, especially high protein, all of the vitamin D, the B groups are really, really important. Now, what are the medications that can stack up and make it worse? So anything that can affect your digestion of the food. So for example, metformin long term can affect your B12 absorption. Orlistat affects the absorption of all of the nutrition that's soluble in fat. Okay, so vitamin D is soluble in fat. If you take Orlistat at the same time as the GLP medications, this can affect your body losing too much of the nutrients. And then long-term proton pump inhibitors, so lansoprazole, omeprazoles, these can affect, and timing is really important. Again, when it comes to prescribed medication, I don't want you to stop them, but I do want to think about discussing with your prescriber to have the right dose and to time it correctly in the day. The supplement stack. So the important thing about supplement stack is I don't want you to go too high on any of these. I know that I talk about this on each and every of the videos, but it's really important. Our body is this amazing machine that has a lot of functions going, and it needs everything to be in balance. So if, for example, you take a super high strength of biotin, your body doesn't really need it. But if you combine the good level of biotin with other vitamin Bs, you will have a much better effect in the outcome of regulating energy level, regulating your body functions. Okay, now I want to go into more about, think about your hair thinning as a warning signal. Okay, there are other important things that get affected with your losing weight too fast, which I want to talk about 3 of them. Okay, so one is the muscle loss. Muscle loss is hugely affected by the rate of weight loss, because your body, when it doesn't have enough calories, yes, it will start using the fat cells, but it will use up your muscles as well. And muscle loss is difficult to gain back in that it takes time. It takes time to build muscles back up. The other one is loose skin. So the rate of weight loss really affects the loose skin that you end up with. We want the outcome to be vibrant skin, not ending up with too loose skin, especially, the forearm and around the tummy area. These are the parts that people get really upset when there's too much of a loose skin. When you give enough time and do it gradually, your skin has got a lot of elasticity and can shape itself back up. Okay, not that completely, but much better. But if you have the weight loss too fast, you'll see the loose skin becoming much more because your skin hasn't had enough time to get back into shape. The third one, which in a way is one of the most important ones because you end up in hospital because of it, is the gallbladder effect. Okay, so let me explain a little bit how it works. So when you have fatty food, your body creates bile. Okay, so bile is like this green fluid that works like washing up detergent. Okay, it breaks down the fat and it makes it more available for our body. And if there's extra, it gets stored in the gallbladder. Okay, now if you don't have enough fatty food and you're losing weight, so your body is already breaking down the fat cells that you're in the body, this is like a double whammy. It's not getting triggered enough to release, and there's too much of an overload that for it to try to store together. So it can create a lot of pain, a lot of different problems with the gallbladder. The pain will be very sharp, right side of your tummy. Okay, this is very much correlating with the rate of weight loss. It can happen with GLPs or without. Okay, if you lose weight too fast, this is one of the risks that we look at. So the underlying all of these 3 complicated issues, as well as your hair loss, is actually the rate of weight loss. So that's the one that we can control, that's the one that we can fix and monitor and do it better. What I want to say is none of these should be a reason for you not to lose weight. Okay, so there's a lot of evidence that at least there's 14 different cancers that one of their biggest risk factors is obesity. Okay, so being overweight is not good for your health either. So I don't want you to put away your weight loss journey because of all of the, worrying about hair thinning or loose skin or muscle loss. I'm just saying there's a balance that we need to find. And a lot of us are going to be on this balance finding our whole life, right? Because weight gain is chronic and relapsing, right? So there's always this up and down and challenge about how much do we lose weight? Are we going to regain it? All of that. So how can we handle the regain basically? Let's just do it slowly and gradually. That way you will have a much better outcome about your weight loss journey. Okay, how much is a good rate for you is the tricky part. It's really different person by person, but we do monitor and support so that you don't lose too fast. A lot of the times there is this balance. Sometimes you're not going to lose really fast, especially if you're making changes, but anyway, having a gradual sustainable weight loss is really important, and that is different person by person. The other one is really make sure that you monitor your food, especially your protein. Protein is super important for that muscle preservation. It's really important for the skin function as well, and for your hair. The other one is strength building exercises. We've covered this in previous videos as well, but anything that you can do. I think one thing is building a habit of something is the most important way to carry on doing it. So build a habit of some form of movement that you can carry on with. There is treatments for the hair loss. There are treatments as topical, like the minoxidil. There's lots of different forms of it. There's a foam, there's lots of different strengths as well. If you use it regularly, it does help with that. And one other really important one, be gentle with your hair, okay? So if you see there's a lot of broken tight hairstyles or too much bleaching, does affect your overall hair health. Be gentle with your hair. What are the things that you want to look out for? We're talking about this hair thinning that's like thinner all over and it's more coming out all together. But if you see there are like smooth, round, bald patches like coins, that can be a different condition. If it's like just at the top of your hair, that's like hormonals. These are different kind of hair losses that are not related to weight loss or GLP side effects. If you see that there's any pain after food, if you feel a little pale or look a little bit yellow, those can be signs that your gallbladder has been affected. As a recap, hair thinning during weight loss can happen. It is one of the common side effects for the GLP medications as well. And I want you to take it more serious than just a side effect. Think about it as a warning signal that you might be losing weight too fast. Make sure that you're protecting your muscles. Make sure that you're protecting your skin. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us, subscribe to our channel, and we're here to help. Thank you.